Hello everyone, this is ARCA at Concord. For the second video in a row, I recorded a whole race and discovered that I had no voiceover. This time I definitely checked to make sure the mic wasn't muted. It was not. Somehow in OBS the setting got changed. I could have swore I saw the little bar that goes up and down as you're talking. I don't know the technical word for it. I could have swore I did a quick test and looked over and like, yep, I'm recording. But I went and checked the video and dead silence again. Did not want to put out two videos in a row where I had no thoughts on it, so I'm just watching it back and I'm going to talk over it. This isn't my thoughts live. Obviously, I know what happens. I'll try to act as though this is happening in real time. Going out for some practice. Concord is crazy. That's all I can say. Practice was, there must have been 30 cars going around this tiny little track in practice, and it was like every turn was a new obstacle course. Couldn't get a good lap in. I didn't know what a good lap was. I do remember I was so flustered from practice that I went out for this practice, you know, the little 3-minute session and actual race session, and I was like, thinking I was running my qualifying lap. I obviously don't see the relative or the guy in my mirror, so I'm just out here like, alright, let's get a good run. And then I see this guy coming out of the pits, and I'm like, oh, this is practice, that's right. And I was like, I'm going to see what a good lap is. I was like, right here, I said, I had a good time coming out of this corner. No, it must have been the next lap. This is what sucks about this not being live. I was trying to set a good lap here, at least for me. And I pretty much said, yeah, this will be a lot better lap unless something happens and this guy immediately spins. And I tried to turn down and get a 4X in practice. So then I decided enough of that. Plus there was only 30 seconds left to go. Peppa-mobile looking pink as usual. He just kind of stayed in the middle. I was like, do I go low? Do I go high? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer was.
That's the end of the session. P3.
Can't rightly remember what I all talked about, you know? This sucks. I need to stop putting out or doing a race with no recording, no voice over. So here I am watching my video back. I usually watch some of it to make sure stuff came off okay, but don't really want to spend the time to rewatch the dumb thing. So I was coming to line, I'm like, I don't know if getting a good run out of the corner is that useful, because you don't get much of a run before you're already off the gas again. But I did it anyway. That turn 1 into turn 2 is kind of almost like one long continuous corner, or the way it feels anyway. I was trying to improve on that. I heard that's pull, but a lot of times the second lap will do it better. A lot of people would only run one. I screwed that up, got too close to the wall, but I still took 800ths off. I was like, wow, is this a good lap? I didn't even know, because in practice it was so hard to ever get a run like that. I don't know what kind of run I ever had. Nor was I really paying attention to what other people were running. But yeah, Richie ended up snagging pole from me. And the benefit of hindsight, I'm going to do a hack edit here. Because nothing happens. Oh, a minute just went by. Another 50 seconds went by. Oh, hey, qualifying's over. I ended up second place. I don't like starting outside pole. I'm really bad at it. And you're going to see that here. It's like, don't pass the leader, but it's hard to see him. If I had triple monitors or something, I think it would be easier. Maybe I'm just making excuses. There was me quadruple checking my brake bias. I did talk quite a bit about brake bias during the run. How I don't have it set up so I can adjust it in a race, which I really need to do. That's just gimping myself for no reason. So I kind of set a happy medium, one that isn't going to spin me out early in the race, but goes back a little bit, so it's a little better than the default. I really could have used more brake bias adjustment in this race, not to spoil anything. I was really wishing for it later.
Air temp is 26 Celsius.
I was happy to be starting near the front, even though I don't like outside pole. But I need more practice at outside pole.
Stay behind the pace car in the outside column.
And you're gonna see. I won't spoil how spectacularly bad this start was, but you're gonna see. It's almost humorous. Could have went worse. You'll see. I'll explain it as it happens. It could have been a lot worse because the guy's behind me. I don't know. They were probably wondering what the hell I was doing. Let's just put it that way. Kind of a unique idea to put my shame up for all the internet to see. Right there, I was just kind of testing what burping the throttle in second gear would do. Alright, here's where it sucks. I'm like, I don't know, the leader can go at any time, right? Don't pass him. Don't pass him. I can kind of see him down there. Now I don't know where he's at. For some reason I thought he went, but he didn't. So then I had to hit the brakes. And everyone behind me, I'm guessing, got screwed. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Then I was flustered as can be because I was so embarrassed by that. Luckily the leader got away clean and I didn't take anyone out doing it. But not a great start for me lap-wise either, and I'm already in the wall. The 11 loops it behind me. Gave me some space to think. Now I was just in the mode of, let's put in some laps. Just be smooth. And there is a good, I do have laps where I'm like, I did that pretty good. Now here comes the number 4 car I wish would have gotten the hell out of the way. So Richie has to deal with him first.
The lap time was at 17.4. The guy behind has just done a 17.4.
He's being patient. I was being a little impatient. I was like, I was not gonna try to put a move on Richie here. It was more, I just wanted him to be able to get by, and then me to get by, and then we could just go again.
That's your quickest lap in this session.
But the 4 is not,
Has just done a 17.1.
absolutely not interested at all in letting us by. Now Richie was able to get under him here.
That was at 17.3.
And then 4 cuts down, and I'm just like, seriously? Then I dive it in here beyond my ability, and then I do this. And I was mad at the 4, but honestly, I spun it on my own. The 4 didn't do anything to me. And then he does that, and I'm like, why were you fighting so hard?
Still there.
Me, I was like, bound and determined not to let the 10 get by me, because I was pissed.
Just done a 17.0.
Now my car's crunched. I don't know how much it affected the rest of my race, but now the leader's 3.1 ahead. And like I said, I wasn't racing for the win, but I was a little annoyed. Like I said, I understand 100%, and we'll see it on the incidents too. I spun out all on my own. I shouldn't have done that. The leader was able to get by him eventually without spinning out. And there's the 4 again. I don't know if I noticed that was him at the time, but then he just
Just done a 17.1.
noped out of this out of the session, so that was it for him. It's a good thing he held up the top 2 cars for a while for a race where I think he ended up finishing 40 some laps down.
You've just done a
49 or something.
17.1. That's your fastest lap.
Anyway, we were 1/5 of the way through the race here, and as you can see, I'm not very consistent. That was just, what was that? So Jason behind me closes it up to a 1/2 and I'm just like, come on, just run laps. Run the ones you know you can run, because I was doing okay in practice, even though it was a Dodge Fest. There again, I had to slow way down more. Sometimes I just come in and I hit the apex, whatever you want to say. I hit it way too early. And kind of need to arc it in a little more to make this part smoother. Like, I did better there.
That's your best lap in the session.
And was my best lap, apparently.
Got car outside. Clear high.
Now this one I couldn't come in like I wanted to because I had to pass that car, but that's understandable. At least I was aware that I was doing it and slowed down enough to make it a turn. Sometimes, I remember mentioning this in the race as it happened. Sometimes I would be like, and this is sad to admit, I'd be like, forget which turn I'm coming out of. Because coming out of 1 is a lot different than coming out of 3 here. 1, you want to set yourself up for the immediate arc into 2. I'm calling this just a 3-turn track, 1, 2, and 3. That's how it's labeled on the loading screen. So 3, you got to get set up just like that, hitting the wall. The Peppa-mobile got abused this race.
17.1.
I'm really mad that my commentary in the moment was lost, because I feel like that's a more genuine experience than me knowing how this race went and commenting on it after the fact. We're 18 laps in.
1.5.
It's less stressful doing it this way, though.
Your lap time was at 17.3.
Richie is only 1.9 ahead of me. I feel like... yeah. Lost a lot to him there. He was just, I'm assuming, way more consistent than me. Had a 1.6 gap behind me. I really wish I wouldn't have spun into the inner wall. I got really lucky, though, that I was able to basically keep it going again without even losing a spot. So, could have been worse.
Thank you, sir.
The gap ahead is now 2.2 seconds.
Now I got 2 ahead, 2 behind. But boy, did I take that turn terribly. Consistency just isn't there with me at some of these tracks.
The gap behind is now 2.2. That was at
And that's a big part of
17.6.
racing, is being able to just lay down the consistent lap over and over again. I can already tell this isn't a great one. It was better than the last one. I just don't know what to say. It's so weird. As you're racing, you can think of things to say. Watching it back, I'm just like, kind of like waiting for it to get over, you know? I can only react like, oh yeah, that was a bad corner.
Lap time
But I mean,
was 17.4.
you can see that it's a bad corner.
Can I pass you? Thank you. Nope.
Those people are talking and I literally can't understand a word.
You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 2.7. Your last lap time was at 17 outside. You're clear outside.
Richie's getting away from me. I never once had a thought in my head that I was going to win this race.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 3.8.
It was obvious at this point that the only way that would happen is if something happened to him. he was just running way better laps than me, and I'm kind of falling apart. And somehow, I remember when the spotter called out halfway, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. This was a smaller field. I don't know if I talked about this. We had a 1,000 strength of field. I think it was only 13 cars. I feel like only 20 some even signed up. I think people are avoiding this week. And I'm 1.1, obviously. That's kind of where I've been for the last couple of weeks.
The gap in front has increased to 5.1 seconds.
Yeah, I've been trying to do some more videos. I'm starting to get a few people watching, so it's kind of like, oh, maybe I should. I'm not trying to overwhelm. I understand. It's hard to watch all the content out there. I have a few people I like to watch, and I like to watch all of their stuff to give them the views and for their channel, you know. But sometimes it is. It's like I gotta pick and choose. So if I put out more videos and somebody's watching, don't feel like. Obviously, this doesn't need to be said, but you're not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't watch at all. But I am trying to find some other things out there. Like the Class C Street Stocks was a lot of fun last night. Another one with no commentary. I didn't do this. I didn't go back and record commentary over it. And now that this has happened twice in a row, I'm going to make extra sure every time that my audio is working before, because this is a pain. One thing I might need to do is get rid of the hand and the steering wheel there. I notice a lot of people don't have that. I don't notice it when I'm racing. Like, it literally doesn't bother me. But when I watch it back, I'm like, wow, that's distracting. So maybe I'll get rid of that if I remember. Or maybe not. I don't know if any other one bothers anyone else, but I noticed a lot of people's videos I watch do not have the steering wheel and the hands in there. It's just not there at all.
I have no tire left.
It's like the third time the 6 has spoken in the chat, and the third time I've had no idea.
Outside. Clear high.
So now Richie's 6.5 ahead of me. I'm just like, that guy is killing it. To the point where I forgot what his car looks like. When I started watching this back, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what his car looked like. I remember seeing him once upon a time. I guess I'm spoiling it that I don't catch him here. See, this is why I don't like doing this. It's just hard for me to talk as though I don't know what's going to happen. I do remember... it's just going to be a different type of video. Just going to have to accept that. I do remember lapping this 3 and hitting him. So you're going to see that soon. It wasn't a good move by me. I need to... I don't know. I did that... What video I also did that in? Little wall hit. Been a while since I'd had any contact with anything. It's not going to be the last time, though, because this car at some point just starts being the worst thing I've ever driven. Here we go. I dive it in there. And then I just plow him into the wall. And I need to put talk. Just so I can throw out a sorry real quick. I don't want that guy to think, even though he was a lap down, I should have set it up better than that. And then I forgot. God, so then I started watching the incidents and forgot. I was like, you're gonna see me hit the wall or something stupid coming up. It's because I was looking down. Yeah, right here. I was totally paying attention to my relative there, trying to figure out what the car number of the car I lapped was, even though I should have just easily remembered it was the number 3. I'm not convinced that that hit there didn't do something real bad to my handling, because all of a sudden, I could not get this thing around, and the last 10 laps felt like they took as long as the first 40 did. So watching it back, it's pretty obvious that I immediately lost the ability to do what I was doing before.
Thank you.
So I had to start going really, really slow. So let's just watch the number 10 behind. It's 2.5 seconds still. I'm like, well, I'm pretty safe, right? Looks like I didn't even realize this. The 7 got ahead of the 10 there for a little bit. That probably helped me hold them off longer because they were fighting.
You've just done a 17.9. The car behind is catching. The gap's now 2.6 seconds.
This car just, it was no longer any fun to drive. Part of it could be tires. In classic me, I didn't even check the tires at the end. Other videos I watched, tire wear didn't seem to be the issue, but tire heat was. Tire heat was pretty, a pretty big thing.
17.8.
Oh. I keep increasing the bitrate on my videos a little bit over time, trying to eliminate stuff like that. But all that, it makes the file sizes just bigger and bigger, and then the uploads take longer. But I don't really want the quality to be super terrible, you know what I mean? They record at 60 frames per second, even though when I'm doing it live, I'm getting like 160 frames, and I have a 144 hertz monitor. So this already, to me, looks way worse than it did as it happened, but that's just part of the process.
The gap behind has now
So
decreased to 1.8.
I'm confused that the 7 is the one behind me. We'll see how this plays out. Maybe I remembered something wrong, but I did notice I'm in second place, and when I saw that red name come into my relative, I'm like, oh my god. Richie really outdrove everyone in this race, and it wasn't even close. As this was happening, I really didn't notice how quickly I got caught here. Yeah, I think I remembered the wrong car catching me. I think it was the 7. It was the 10 behind me for so long. I spun up the wheels there because I was starting to get frustrated. I think I had just noticed. Like 2 more times, and I'm hitting the wall. I can see him in my mirror now. Wow, that was really bad frames there. I'm hitting the wall, I'm spinning the tires, literally crawling around this track. It's just awful. But I'm 18 seconds away from finishing this race.
Okay, Justin, one more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium. That was a 18.3.
And down to one turn. And it just doesn't turn, and he gets under me. But he probably pushed it way too hard to try to make that lunge happen, and he spun into the wall. So I end up second by less than half a second. But I'm not super proud of that drive. Although I guess second place is nothing to sneeze at. So I ended up watching this back just to make sure I didn't come down on him or something. But it's obvious he probably just gunned it coming out of the corner, and I last-ditch hope that it would hook up and he would get me. But it didn't work out for him. Now I'm assuming I started the incidents here at some point. I'm always like, how do we get back to the start of the race? Well, I'm not double clicking. And here I could already see, look how far ahead I am. I'm like, the start was so stupid. I wanted to get past it as quick as I could. So I'm watching the incidents. Looks like a little tap from the 4 to the 11. The 11 gets spun by a blinking car. I remember I go back and watch this because at the time I didn't notice the car blink out. And it just looked like that car suddenly snapped around in a weird way, but now I see what happened. sucks for the 11. 2 just self-spins. The idiot 5 car is trying to lap the 4 and just spins into the wall. All on his own. And the 4 immediately takes himself out. And kind of gets in the way of some more people. Puts himself in a dumb spot. And then the 4 loops it again, takes out the 1. And I believe the 4 left the race after that. The 9 into the wall. 13 spins it. Oh, and corrects the outer wall. Luckily doesn't take anyone else with him. 2 into the wall. The 5 car does a terrible job of lapping the 3 and just punts him into the wall. What kind of idiot would do that? Then, yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm like, oh crap. Is he still online? No, I see he's disconnected. Dang it. I was going to say sorry. That's why I need the mic. I need to... I mean, I don't have to talk. I can just make a button to do it, just in case, you know. I'm sure by the time I do it again, I won't have thought to do it. So then I watch myself hit him again. There's been worse contacts out there, but I want to be better than that. And it just pushed up. I should have just gotten it on the brakes and just let him back. And that was... Jesus. Sorry about the frame quality. I guess I'm going to up the bitrate some more until it gets better. Make these videos insanely longer. Looks like I only had this video go for 20 more seconds. I probably was thanking everyone for watching. So I will thank you for watching, and sorry that the voiceover was recorded after the fact. I will try to not do that anymore. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.